Slacker Music News.
Hey, it's Red. Here's what's going on. NWA will be added to the annals of musical history. Their album Straight Outta Compton is one of the few works that will be preserved in the National Recording Registry in the Library of Congress. Oh, if only Hubert Humphrey III were around to hear that.
It is nothing but filth.
Somebody get Hubert some water. He just passed out. Shakira is going to open her 7th school in Colombia with heavy hitters backing her up, FC Barcelona and a banking foundation. She said, quote, "We built schools where the government was absent and thousands of children didn't have access to quality education. The transformation was immediate. We need to invest in children if we want to have a prosperous world." In more Colombian news, Wiz Khalifa chose poorly. After visiting the grave of a notorious Colombian drug lord, Wiz brought flowers and smoked a blunt at Pablo Escobar's grave and posted the pic on social media. Medellin's mayor said Wiz should have brought flowers to Escobar's victims. Hey, speaking of Escobar, you know that he had a bunch of hippos and they escaped and started breeding and now there's a huge hippo problem? I'm not kidding. Look it up. Hippo gang. And in case you didn't know, you do not mess with hippos. That's what's going on in Red. Follow me on Twitter, Red on Slacker.
ESPN Radio Sports Center. I'm Doug Brown. Kansas point guard Frank Mason averaged 21 points and 5 assists a game for the Jayhawks this season. He is the Associated Press Player of the Year. And Gonzaga coach Mark Few, who's taking his team to the Final Four for the first time in school history, is the Coach of the Year. Few talk today about the whirlwind of the last few days.
Awesome week so far leading up to this, and it's just been a great experience for our players, coaches, families, and staff. I think everybody in the university and the entire city of Spokane is fired up, but now we're kind of in game mode, so it's getting serious now.
The Zags play a national semifinal against South Carolina on Saturday. Today, Gamecocks guard Sindarius Thornwell missed practice with an illness. Kelsey Plum of Washington and UConn's Gino Auriemma are the women's player and coach of the year. In the NBA, Kevin Durant of the Warriors tells ESPN's Chris Haynes he understands fans' frustration with players resting. Durant says, though, this issue only applies for the top players in the league, so he wonders if it's necessary for a rule that applies only to those players. We've got the Rockets and Trailblazers tonight here on ESPN Radio, starting at 9:30 Eastern Time. Blake Trinan, who has one Major League save, is now the closer for the Washington Nationals. He is a converted starter. Last year's closer, Mark Melancon, signed as a free agent with the Giants.
As the end of the regular season nears, the Cavaliers have been struggling on defense. Is this fixable, or should they be worried? We'll ask Bruce Bowen when he joins Mike and Mike Friday morning at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.